Right, well today is Thursday morning, it's going to be minus 14, it's ridiculously cold and we're in the shop and Mark's got a heater on but he's sat on it at the moment, you know what I mean, so he's not sharing any warmth with us, so we are today going to we're going to do some filming just from here. We're not out on the road. We're not doing anything. It's the time of year coming up for December. Fairs are dying off. There's not many about, and what are about are not, to be honest with you, not really worth going to. It's going to be what, February, March, April next year before we start getting back out on the road doing the fairs again. But we'll be doing a lot more next year, because by that time hopefully Matt's fixed. He's going in hospital in a couple of weeks. He's having a heart bypass, so his first marathon will be in the end of January, I think, something like that. We're now filming in 4K, so put your settings to 4K, which might give you a better quality, might make us look different. I don't know. See how we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over the Antiques Trade Gazette in a minute, and I'm going to go through that. For those of you that don't know what it is, it's the trade magazine for the antique dealers, right? It's like the Bible for the antique dealers. So me and Mark will go through that in depth, and then we've got a few specific items that what I might do over the next few weeks is just do a bit of a not an in-depth cover, but a basic cover of specific items that you're not generally going to see everywhere. You know, your average antique shop won't have this stuff in. It's rare stuff. You know, we're called original finds because we've got original gear, and it's no good taking a camera and just showing you the stuff that's in the shop. We want to point out what the stuff is. So, you know, it might be interesting to some people. You know, we've got a great variety of stuff. Can't show it you all at once, so if we pick 4 or 5 items every now and again, show you what they are. If you want more in-depth content on certain items, give us a shout. We can certainly do it. But we'll start off with, I think, what have we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots. So we're doing an Antiques Trade Gazette review of that. Let you know what it's about, let you know what we think of it as traders. Show you 5 items that we're going to do. Hopefully next time, we don't know what's coming up, so we can't predict what we're going to do. You know, if we've got a job on the outside going out, demolition jobs, we'll take you on that with us. But if not, we'll do some filming in here, and we'll be more. It'll be different stuff that we'll be filming. So we'll go with the Gazette. Okay, mate. So I've brought a couple of Antiques Trade Gazettes in, so we can go through them. Really, what I brought them in for was because I actually thought, see, these 2 locks here that we got from Ashburton.
Yeah.
What was that? 3 weeks ago? A month ago?
A month ago, yeah.
A month ago, yeah. We went down to Ashburton. Mark bought these in Ashburton a month ago when we went down. Handmade. What age do you reckon they are? 17, 20?
Yeah, somewhere
around there, yeah. Absolutely beautiful things. I've seen these in the British Museum. These are as good a quality as you're going to get out of the British Museum. Now I saw, bizarrely, when I think about 2 weeks later, there was one sold in the trade. There was an article about one that had been sold in the Trade Gazette. And I thought it was in this, so I thought, well, what I'll do is we could come in and talk about it. But it isn't. It's not in that one. It's not in this. But no, I'll find out which one it is. And, I mean, thousands. It's sold for thousands. Not. I mean, you know, we've got these for sale in here. I think that one's about $350 and that one's about $250. It's for nothing in the scheme of it. When you think of the art, the work that's gone into that, and the time that it went in, the prices. And I'll see if I can find the article, and I'll put it on a future episode of the one that's sold. So this Gazette is like the Bible.
Is this current?
Yeah, they are current within the last few weeks.
Yes.
So, yeah, still 2nd of November. This one. This one. It's it's great reading. It's interesting reading for us. It's basically a lot of adverts, and it's run by adverts, obviously. But just even by reading the adverts, it shows you what's current in the market. It's great for pricing stuff. Don't get into the in the mindset that, oh, I've got one of those because it's a picture of it in here. Let me assure you, the stuff that's in here is rare stuff, and when it's doing big prices, because there's not loads of it about. You might think you've got one because your chair looks similar to the one, which is a mistake we all make. Really.
It's informative. It's a must, really, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But it's also very, very good for informing you which auctions specialise in which content. Don't make the mistake that me and Mark made a few months ago by going to the wrong auctions and expecting your stuff to do well, and it doesn't. We don't do well in auctions, do we?
No,
not really, because we're not auction sellers. We buy a bit. You can buy from auctions now.
Yeah, I'll buy from auctions.
You buy very well, don't you? Mark buys quite a lot from auction, and he'll travel. He's prepared to buy from an auction in Devon and just drum down and get the stuff, which you do many a time, don't you?
If you need or want different items, I think that's what you've got to do. You've got to do the distance. Yeah. And private collections come up for sale, and you've got to see the catalogue, and you've got to view, and you've got to see.
That's the secret. Private collections. When private collections at the moment are coming onto the market. I've never seen this in the last 40 years. I've never seen private collections come onto the market. And what's happening now is I've said this before. The people who have usually the blokes who have the private collections are dying, and the families are putting the collections into auctions around the country, mainly down south, because that's where the money is. Realistically, most of the money's down on the coast, isn't it? And always has been, and that's where your private collections have been, and that's where you get on the internet, bid for the stuff, and go down and get it. You're not getting it in the northwest. You're not getting it past Birmingham, to be honest. There's a big difference. There's a north-south gap in the antique trade. That's what we're finding. What you're finding, isn't it?
You had your wealth areas of antiques, didn't you? As you know, from Liverpool and Manchester and Liverpool had an unbelievable wealth.
It did, because it was a dock area, wasn't it? That's where the stuff in. But down south as well was where the money. I mean, Liverpool was famously rich. But it isn't now. But the rest of down south is still as famously rich.
It still comes out. Private collections are coming out. There's old houses, big old houses with things just lying around. Yeah, there is one developing. And keeps the market going, doesn't it?
Well,
it keeps it interesting.
It's coming out, but even some of the auction houses are not realising the quality of the stuff they've got. If you overload the market and it all comes out at the same time, then the value drops. It's a supply and demand thing, isn't it? So you can buy really, really rare stuff for cheap money, because there's a lot of it. It comes on the market. You see it on the market for 6 months. There's a load of Chinese Tang Dynasty figures or things come up. And in 6 months you can't buy them again, because they're not about. They've gone. That glut that there was 6 months ago is gone. So the value goes back up again. It's like share trading, I suppose. It's supply and demand. When there's oversupply, the price is very, very little, and you're good at picking that sort of stuff out and going and getting it. Whereas the rest of us are too lazy. Anyway, back to the Trade Gazette.
Yes.
One of my favourite.
What have you seen?
Well, first thing I always go to is I go to two things. I go to it's got the price of the gold and silver scrap, which I always go to by habit. They have a company down in Brighton, Bloomstein's, which print the prices of this week's prices of what the gold and silver is. They're normally quite accurate. They're not the best. They're not the worst. But they're good. You can send it down if you want to. Well, on the 2nd of November, silver was £21. Today it's the 16th, 17th of November.
22nd or something.
Is it
now.
26th? You see,
It's getting on,
that's how
isn't it?
much I take. Anyway, it's about £19.
Yeah.
So
It's dropped a bit, hasn't
yeah,
it?
from £21 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, sorry, from £21 2 weeks ago, it's now to £19. So you've got to be on the ball with that. That's per ounce. That's a troy ounce of silver.
Yeah.
Gold is. It tells you the scrap price of the 9 carat gold, 14, 18 carat, 22, and platinum. So really interesting information. If you go on the internet and you go for you want scrap gold price, you've usually got spot price, which you don't get, or you've got you've got a variant of different prices, haven't you?
Yeah.
You know, we go down to Birmingham, don't we?
We do.
We get the best price at Birmingham.
Yeah.
Hatton Garden's not too bad, but it's too far away. So yeah, that's my first thing. Check scrap price. If I've got scrap.
If you've got it,
if I've
and that's
got
the
it.
thing.
Yeah. The secondly,
When you don't go out looking for it, you don't have it.
I know exactly. It doesn't do, does it? But secondly, it's got a column in it that goes
The auction
highest price
sales.
overestimate.
Yeah.
Right? Now this really is a this about sums up the antiques trade, doesn't it? This we've got at an auction house. This column will tell you what the auction estimate price of something is and the highest price that it's actually sold for over the estimate. And so we've got an example of 3 things here. One from an auction in Truro in Cornwall, and it's a vase, 18th century vase, probably Meissen, which is a German porcelain company. The vendors put it into the auction and it's estimated at between £80 and £120. That's the guide price at the auction house. The actual hammer price that it sold for was £5,400.
That's good.
That was great for the vendor.
Yeah.
But you know, if you're an auction house, you look pretty stupid, aren't you? Doing do you know what? You don't know your market if you're putting a Meissen vase in at £80 to £120, right? So the next one, an auction house in Gloucester, Black Forest cuckoo clock, £60 to £80 is gone in. Well, if you look at that, there, £60 to £80, you know, I don't even like cuckoo clocks, but I'd give £300-400 for it.
Yeah.
Right? But so £60 to £80 is not. That's not going to get me estimate, is it? That's I'm stealing your stuff estimate. Right. Anyway, sold for £3,000 on the hammer. Now the hammers, what a hammer price on this, there's a 30%, an average of 30 to 35% buyer's premium on top of that. So for £3,000, you've got another £1,000 worth of commission. Yeah, on top of that, so it's £4,000. The hammer price on the 5,400 with 30% on is another nearly £2,000, another £1,500. On top of that, so how can you justify this incompetence? It's not incompetence. It's I'm wrong in saying incompetent. It's not knowing what the market is, isn't it? Really. The bottom one, £80 to £120, 2,400, and this column is in here every week, and it's. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it makes your auction look good that you're actually getting these sort of figures, or does it make your auction look bad, or is there that much stock going through the auctions that they haven't got time to categorise it properly or research it properly, or I don't know. But what it does do,
You only need 2 bidders.
you do only need 2 bidders.
There might only have been 2 people bidding for that.
Yeah, you can never second guess it, can you?
No.
I know you can't. But
Because I'll do it.
yeah, I know you. But how many? These are the guys that have had 2 bidders, right?
Yeah.
Imagine if there's only 1 bidder.
Because you'll keep going if you want to.
Yeah, you will if there's 2 of you. But imagine if there's only 1 of you. How many auctions a day
If
are
there's
there?
1 of you and you start at 180, that's sold.
You've done, yeah. You've bought it at 180, mate, and its true value is £4,500. If there's 1 of you. Now there's I don't know how many auctions a day. There must be 60, 70 auctions a day in this country.
Oh, easy.
Easy, right? So every auction will have something like this, and you can't view these buyers can't view every auction. So you've got a massive chance of buying something like that that's worth £4.5 for 80 quid, because that's what it says. It's just, you've got to have the understanding to know that you've bought it for 80 quid and it's worth £4.5. What is anyway? That's my.
I'm just looking at the bronze set.
Oh right, yeah, that's.
Is it bronze?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, death mask there. Yeah.
What does that say? Number. Oh, copies of a death mask. Death masks. The death mask is a mask that clues in the name. They take a bronze mask of a dead person, and they usually sell them, don't they?
Yeah.
They did. Is it Napoleon?
Napoleon? Yeah, there's a lot of Napoleon.
Yeah. But, apparently there's 4 of these. Yeah. So that the next lots you then it's very good. It start showing you the auctions and specialist auctions, and you get a good idea of price. I mean, these are up to date prices. With proper estimates, to be quite honest, because some of these, you know.
And some small background knowledge, isn't there?
It's massive background knowledge. Yeah. You learn by reading this, even if you never do anything.
And then your articles are in depth.
The articles are great. The auction reports telling you what they actually made, the quality of the stuff, the scarcity of it,
and even what's trending.
Very much
like
so.
Your paintings.
Very much so.
This is well in at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Very much so. What's trending, and the specialist
sales.
That auction, the one-off. Did one. Yeah. And the artists, the artists that are trending and that are making money as well. So yeah, it's something that if you're a serious antique dealer. You know, not just a guy who's selling something so somebody can put on the wall and it looks good. Then you need you need this information. Yeah. And I don't know of any other magazine or anything with any content that's got information on it that's as good as this.
You mean in the sense of current?
Yeah,
Because some of the old antique books.
But these are. This is up to date. This is these went from 2 weeks ago. Yeah. The auction, what they're advertising here will be for sale this week. Christie's Asian art sales. I find that really difficult to distinguish that between an early one like that and a 19th century copy.
Yeah. Provenance is your only real big aid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where's it been? Who's owned it?
That's why with provenance stuff makes a lot more money, doesn't it? With provenance. Yeah. Featured items they do. Chinese auction previews. God, you need a degree, and we've had some quite recent lessons on Chinese porcelain.
Yes, yeah, we have.
Which will when we come back from Ashburton next time, we'll tell you about one of the guys, his little win from an auction. Yeah, something like that, wasn't it? From an auction house. But once you know who we're talking about, we'll tell the story of that. So yeah, Antiques Trade Gazette. It's worth it tells you what all the auctions are, when they're on, antique fairs when they're on, international antique fairs when they're on, and it really keeps you up to date. It's
an aid memoir, and so you can use that as a reference as well. You can go back if you keep them lying around. You just pick them up.
Oh, they're a nightmare. You find something in it, and then you see something. You go, I've seen one of them in the Trade Gazette, and then
600 issues later.
Oh,
where was it?
Where was it? Gone. It's like trying to find something on the internet, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know how much they are. These are what, the 80-90 quid a year to subscribe to it. Comes every Tuesday. A great aid. If you want to be an antique, or if you're interested, treat yourself. You do it online as well. You don't have to. I think it's not that much money online. I think it's only about 30-40 quid. Yeah. If that might be less. They do it online. I don't find the online, as in obviously it's in depth. It's got the same thing. I find it easier to pick up a magazine and read it and flip through it.
Yeah.
The adverts are not as in depth online. The articles are, but the adverts are not. So and you get a lot. Sometimes you get more information of the adverts, don't you? So yeah, that's the Antiques Trade Gazette. Okay, so that was a bit of a going over the Antiques Trade Gazette. I hope you found it informative. Please do us a favour, really. Like and subscribe. We need it, to be honest with you. It doesn't cost anything. You just hit the button below. It really, really helps us out. We need to get the view. I need to get the views up. We can't do it if you don't like and subscribe. I think really appreciate it. So as quick as you can, great. And right, going to talk about a couple of the other bits now that are just in the shop.
What have you been picking out?
Well, I've picked out, mate, because you can talk about this because Mark's the clever one out of the two. He's the one that he's the anal knowledge man. This one. So when we went to Ashburton a couple of weeks ago,
yes,
and we're going back, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we bought between us these two things. Now, these are the Tang Dynasty. Han Dynasty. See what I mean? It was already. I'm about 400 years out then, aren't I? Or 1,000 years out, maybe.
No. We only say roughly 200 BC, 500 AD, roughly. Just
between 200 BC and 500 AD. I mean, 200 BC and 500 AD.
Or possibly older. That we didn't know, did we? We were told they were Han.
Cast iron. Cast iron. Imagine making these 200 BC. Out of cast iron. I mean, tell me an antique shop where you go and buy these. You're not, are you?
They've been part of someone's collection, haven't they?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they have.
We're also taking a punt.
We take a punt. We take a punt with everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. But our stuff has a modicum of provenance. Yeah, they have actually got museum. Numbers on the bottom of them. Yeah. These have come from private collections from reputable dealers. Show me, find me any more of these. You ain't find them. These are proper original finds, aren't they?
Yes.
So yeah, we're very pleased with these. It's difficult to put a value. We can only put a value on them as against what we've paid for them. I don't know the true value of these.
No.
Maybe if you take them to China, they might be worth millions, and we don't know. But what I do know is you can't go and buy another. Anyway, you know what I mean. And that's what the antique job is, isn't it? These are individual things. Nobody's coming up and copying these, and the one-offs.
Come through a reputable dealer, and also, like you say, they've come from a private collection, so we're talking there's possibly 40-50 years behind those. Of where did it come from? Someone's been somewhere, picked it up.
Again, the private collections from down south.
Yeah, as you was alluding to before.
Yeah. So next, after that, we've got. Now these are
opium weights.
Opium weights, right? Well, tell us about opium weights, because you know
opium weights. They're mainly made of bronze. So
Chinese,
Burmese, Siam, all around really.
Okay.
Because
used for
everyone trade. Yeah, because everyone says, "Oh, they're just an opium weight." They're not rare. You can go in a lot of antique shops, a lot of cabinets, you'll pick them up. They vary in sizes, they go right the way down. There's the lions, there's Hinthy ducks, there's various different types and styles, all sort of individual to different areas. If you went to Burmese, or you would have been Siam, that's got one particular type, and then region to region it slightly differs. Some of them have most of them would have an official weight star or a marking on the inside, on the front. But there's It's such a massive subject.
So what are they used for?
In the markets.
Weighing against I want some
products.
corn, I want corn, I want
yeah.
wheat, I want such and such. So basically like our weights of today.
Oh yeah, because you weigh. You go back 2,000 years. A lot of these things, they could have started from cowrie shells, like just shells, and they trade with shells, but then things move on and you get weight. So how does time progress? And that's what I say, it's more than just an opium weight. You're going back thousands of years. But basically, if a ruler came in and he said, I want everything standardised, they'd have official weights.
Right. Okay.
So these would be the same weights in every market, so that you knew when you was trading your goods, everything was official, and it was all kept official.
Pretty much like our weight.
Today,
same thing. They're the first ones, the first early weights.
And then you go
so why
from region.
Why do you call opium weights?
Because later on they started to say, well, they come from China, and it's all to do with opium and the way in the opium.
Wars.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when the British Raj took over, they stopped using the bronze and went to a lot of cast iron. So and then we had next also we introduced your pounds, your 100 weights and your pounds. So they sort of changed them, but they were still using these even in the 1920s on the markets, because there's people who've written books who've actually gone and lived out in these regions and interviewed old monks and people to understand what the origins are. But you also got to work across all the regions, right the way to Egypt. If you're trading goods and you're not trading on a similar weighted system, or go back to your gold, you come and have your gold weighed at my stall, and I've got that way, and you're comparing it with that way, your trade's not right, is it? So then you'd have to re-standardise, so a lot of them would get melted down again and remade again to the next ruler, and this has gone on. So these can go back, you could go back to about 1200, where you could see, because there's areas missing where there's times where say they get melted down.
Cool.
But,
Sweet.
It's a big subject. It's a it's an opium weight.
Yeah,
it's a massive subject.
No, fair enough. Right.
Tang Dynasty. It was a horse. Funerary pieces.
Now, funerary pieces were they were buried with the usually emperors, really.
Important.
Yeah, important people. You what's the terracotta warriors type of thing. Tang Dynasty. What era are we talking about?
Roughly about 6. What did you say? 6 to 9, but it'd be something like 618 to about 907, I think they quote. But he said 600 AD, 900 AD.
So you died, and you had lots of
goods buried.
Pots.
Pots. You'd have little farms. You could have little wheat houses. You'd have
to take to the heavens with you.
The same again. Attendants to serve to you. A lot of these come out of the ground smashed, and they get repaired. This has been repaired, I think.
I know. I've got a whole camel, haven't I?
You've got a full camel.
I've got a whole camel. Which is about 1,000 pieces. But we've got some nice.
A lot of stuff comes out of the ground smashed, and it gets repaired. So I don't know who's done the repairs, but I can see that's been repaired in places.
It's been a good job, hasn't it? But again, a piece, to be taken out of a funerary piece, been basically grave robbed at some point, isn't it?
And it's over 1,000 years old.
Yeah. You're not getting that again. So, how do you value that? I mean, again, how do you put value on it? We know what we paid for these things, but
demand.
Demand, yeah. I mean, you do see some of these start selling through the auctions. Again, that's what the Trade Gazette's good for.
Yeah.
He's referencing stuff like this, but there's better qualities. There's certain qualities in them.
And there's reproductions.
There's a lot of reproductions. That's why you've got to be careful with this stuff. And there's reproductions dilute the market. Don't they? They kill the market. But the reproductions at the end of the day, it's like having a Rolex watch, isn't it? And then going to Turkey and getting yourself a copy Rolex. It doesn't work, does it? It doesn't. You know, you can tell a reproduction.
Your discerning antiques dealer will look at things and say,
"Oh, you know it straight away, don't you?" You can mostly spot a copy Rolex. Nowadays, the Rolexes are getting better, but you're not replicating this stuff. You're not replicating a lot of the antiques, to be honest with you. So that's what makes them a store of value for money, I think, really.
Yeah.
So So that's that. So the last one we're going to do today is this one, which I quite like. These Coco de Mer. The bum nut, is it?
Bum nut, yeah. Bum nut.
Floating in the sea. Sailors used to find them all the time, didn't they? Take them, carve them.
Float, yeah. Float from the Seychelles down to the coast, Indonesia. They find them floating in the sea.
Yeah, they were common, weren't they?
And they thought they'd come from trees in the ocean or the sea, and they'd come to the top and they'd float. Okay.
So, how many? Is there something like 2 trees left that grow the
I think
Coco
there's
de Mer?
more, but I think it's just they're not allowed to export them.
You're
not allowed to do anything with them now.
You're not even allowed to trade them out of this country, are you?
No.
You can't. You can buy them in this country.
Yeah.
But I don't think you can't ship them out.
And that's not a lot of them are highly polished, so you see them bigger than that, and they're so polished and patina on them's great. But we've got a couple of those knocking about, haven't we? So
just a couple, just a random couple, mate, knocking about. Yeah, couple of yourself. Yeah. But
ours are not all polished, and they may cut them up and they make them into baskets.
Yeah, they do.
There's a lot of things that
you do see them. Yeah, I mean they vary in price. The standard selling price for these now is anywhere between £1,500 and £2,000.
As much as that?
Yeah. Well, you can't buy one. Go and buy one. Go find one of them now. You will find them if you can't find them. But find them in as good a quality as the ones that we've got.
Right. Yeah.
You won't. I've seen a lot of them advertised, cut in half.
There is, that's what I'm saying, they turn them into the baskets.
Yeah, they do.
And carve around them.
I've seen them doing £1,000 in auction for half of one. So, again, get me another. But, yeah.
I'll keep my eyes open.
Yeah, I do so. Right, so there's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots, 5 random lots that we just picked out today and talked about. Hope it's been a bit informative. You never know. Maybe next time we'll do another 5 and try and keep it a bit interesting. Anything happens in the meantime, we'll hopefully take you with us, depending on the weather, depending on how Matt is. To be honest with you, he's in hospital in, was it 13 days?
Yeah.
He's there 13 days. So hopefully when he's out of hospital, spend a bit more time with us doing the filming. The filming works miles better with Matt, to be honest with you, because yeah, alright, leave it out. I've done lots of filming while Matt's not been here, and it's just gone in the bin, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Really, it's so we're going to have to do it again.
So good stuff.
And we're coming up to Christmas. I can't see much happening before Christmas. Nothing exciting happening, but next year we're going to go for it. If all goes right and our cryptocurrency starts taking off, then we're going to spend a bit more time doing this. If Trump gets assassinated and crypto goes tits up, then we might not do, but I don't think so. So great, another episode over, and I'll see you next time.